Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday held bilateral talks with U.S. President Donald Trump. The meeting, which was held at White House, focused on issues relating to the economy, security, and trade. Both leaders held a press conference later to announce the outcome of the discussion. This next report highlights some of the issues discussed during the meeting.
It is a meeting Nigerians have been expecting since President Donald Trump was sworn in as U.S. President in January 2017. President Muhammadu Buhari becomes the first leader from sub-Saharan Africa to meet with the U.S. leader in White House, Washington. As expected, most part of their meeting focused on security and the fight against terrorism. President Trump noted that he was pleased with Nigeria's progress in that regard.
I especially want to thank President Buhari for Nigeria's partnership and leadership in the fight against terrorism. He's been a real leader. Nigeria was one of the first African nations to join the coalition to defeat ISIS. And Nigerian forces are currently leading regional efforts against ISIS in West Africa and doing very well, as we have. Nigeria is also leading African nations in the fight against Boko Haram and another ruthless jihadist terrorist group. You've been reading about them. They kidnap the young girls and young women, many of whom never are seen again. It's tough stuff.
Buhari, in his response, thanked America for their assistance and solicited their continued support, especially in negotiations to rescue some abducted schoolgirls.
The United States of America has been, to date, the biggest contributor to the humanitarian response, and last year gave approximately $500 million United States dollars in cash and in kind contribution through the United Nations and other intergovernmental organizations. These have mainly supported protection activities, health, food assistance, and shelter. We are doing all we can to secure the release of the remaining abducted school girls from Dapchi and Chibok. In this context, we will continue to welcome United States collaboration in intelligence gathering, hostage negotiations, and information sharing.
The farmers' heritage crisis, which has plagued some parts of the country, was also at the forefront. Trump asked the Nigerian leader to end the killings, which has been blamed on the menace.
We're deeply concerned by religious violence in Nigeria, including the burning of churches and the killing and persecution of Christians. It's a horrible story. We encourage Nigeria and the federal, state, and local leaders to do everything in their power to immediately secure the affected communities and to protect innocent civilians of all faiths, including Muslims and including Christians.
Buhari also highlighted government's efforts to end the crisis.
The government is taking necessary steps to promote the peaceful coexistence of herdsmen and farmers by focusing on boosting security and enforcing legislation that will guarantee borders and farmers access to land.
Another major issue on the agenda during the talks between both presidents is the economy. While President Muhammadu Buhari wants increased investment from America, President Donald Trump says it won't be a problem provided the Nigerian government creates what he calls a level playing ground.
I'm pleased that Nigeria is one of our largest trading partners in the region, and we look forward to growing our trade relationship based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. But we give Nigeria well over $1 billion in aid every year, and we have already started talking with the president about taking down the trade barriers, very substantial barriers to the United States trading with Nigeria. So we think that we are owed that. President Buhari has also taken several steps to fight corruption and improve the Nigerian business climate. And most of all to me, and again, is ripping down those trade barriers. These measures will make it easier for Nigeria and the United States companies to invest. And we will be investing substantially in Nigeria if they can create that level playing field.
While thanking the U.S. government for assisting Nigeria's attempt to recover its looted funds, President Buhari asked for further assistance in repatriating the remaining stolen funds.
We thank the United States government very much for cooperation we have received in our effort to recover stolen funds. Our two governments have put the machinery in place for their respective attorney generals to collaborate in ensuring the return to Nigeria of over 500 million United States dollars of looted funds siphoned away in banks around the world.
The meeting is seen as one of the first steps to boosting Nigeria's relations with America. It comes months after President Trump allegedly made some derogatory remarks about Africa. It offers Trump an opportunity to put the record straight that Africa matters in his foreign policy.